Welcome in to One and Only Horror Reviews, where I deliver your ass the only review you're gonna need on this movie. Today, we're gonna be talking about a true nightmare in the horror movie genre. We're talking A Nightmare on Elm Street, the 2010 remake. Real quick, I do want to clarify that A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is my favorite horror movie franchise ever since I was a little kid. Shout out to my Aunt Judy, who let me come over as a little old Jigsaw and watch A Nightmare on Elm Street 5 as I was probably 6 years old. It was probably child abuse. And because of that, I mean, this may sound a little fucked up, but hey, surprise, surprise, Freddy Krueger was kind of a hero to me. Okay, yeah, I'm a little jacked in the head, I get that. But I vividly remember this dream where Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees were coming after me trying to kill my ass. And guess what? I teamed up with Freddy Krueger and we killed both them mute motherfuckers. But enough about this trip down memory lane. We're here to talk about this trash can of a movie. Now in 2010, before this movie hit, I was pretty much in the same boat as all you out there. I wanted another nightmare movie, but when we saw the CGI face right at the end of that first trailer, I was like, God damn, I was with everybody else. Oh, this is gonna look so bad. This CGI looks like shit. Robert Englund is Fred Krueger. No disrespect to this new guy, Jackie Haley, or whatever the fuck his name is, but 100 out of 100 times, you're not gonna beat Robert Englund because, like I said, he is Fred. So right off the bat, we start the movie off in a diner and we're introduced to all the characters in the movie. And are they not supposed to be high schoolers? Why do they all, every one of them, looks 25 and up? So these are all supposed to be brand new characters. We don't have Glenn, we don't have Tina, we don't have Rod, we don't have Nick. Well, actually we do have Nancy, but it's not Nancy Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the Wish version of Nancy Holbach or Holbrook or whole fucking suck my dick. But what I found odd was, even though we don't have the same original characters, they're supposed to be different, but they all still follow the same roles as the original. We have Quentin, who is supposed to kind of be Glenn, Nancy's love interest. We got Kris, who is, the blonde girl that the movie tries to trick you into thinking is gonna be the main character, like they did with Tina in the original. And then we have Jesse, who's supposed to be, he's supposed to be Rod, that rough and tough bully type, but oh my God. You see, Rod actually had that tough guy vibe to him. Jesse looks like he's a fucking bass player for My Chemical Romance. Since we're talking about all the characters, we gotta do a big section here on Freddy Krueger. The look is shitty. We're not gonna spend a lot of time on that. Everybody knows it. The CGI bullshit, it didn't work out. It didn't look good. We knew it wasn't gonna look good, and it didn't. I think he looks more comical than scary. He looks more like a fucking confused lizard than he does some burn victim that's coming to kill your ass. Besides the original first movie, Freddy was always portrayed with this, personality. He always threw out this, the crazy, funny one-liners. This version, they tried to make him more serious. And, he's a legit pedo. So, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with the kid touching part, by the way. I'm okay with the fact that they didn't want him to be more silly. Now, having said that, they couldn't fully commit to that because they did try to squeeze in just a couple one-liners or little quips to make, to give you a little chuckle like this.
I was just petting him. How's this for a wet dream?
Now, goddammit, how do you not know this is a big misstep? You either go all the way or you don't. You don't try to be a serious pedo, but also kind of be funny. Those things do not mix. The old Freddy, we kind of cheered for him the further we got in. We wanted to see what he said, what he did next. It was always, more entertaining. Here, I'm okay with them wanting to go more serious, like the original. But you know what? They just couldn't stick to it.
Fuck you.
It's a little fast for me.
You can't root for a kitty toucher. But when it comes to the pedo top, anyone out there who says, oh, it made the movie too dark. Motherfucker, this is a horror movie. Get the fuck off my video with that kind of a dumbass comment. Now, this remake version of Freddy, it missed several marks, but the biggest one was the lack of original, cool, and spectacular kills that Freddy's kind of known for. So for real, strap in. We're gonna break this movie down from start to finish right now. I know that was a long intro, but I care a lot about this franchise. So as I said, we're in the diner, we see the characters, and we are immediately introduced to all the high school drama. Quentin has a crush on Nancy. What's too much of a chicken shit pussy to actually make a move. Jesse is still in love with his ex, Kris, who's seen in the other booth talking to Dean. You know what? Maybe that's why Jesse's so goddamn emo in this movie. So Dean is telling Kris about all these scary dreams that he's having, and she's just sitting there trying to assure him, hey, it's okay, they're just dreams. Kris walks off, Dean ends up dozing off, and boom, Freddy shows up, ices that bitch, sticks that knife in his throat, and slits the bitch's neck right in front of Kris. This is one of the kills that I actually liked. It didn't really have any spectacular stuff in it, but the straight up visual, you saw the whole thing, you saw the blade cutting in. It was a good kill. And then bam, title scene. Hey, I don't think it was that bad of an intro, minus the drama bullshit that I didn't give a fuck about. We're at Dean's funeral, and I want to point out how shitty of a friend Kris is. While they're at the service, she fucking falls asleep. What the fuck is wrong with you, Dean? You had terrible friends. After the funeral, Nancy goes home and dozes off in bed. And then it happens, one of the most cringy CGI moments, at least in the 2000s, I think. We see the Freddy Krueger coming through the wall. They tried to mimic this from the original, and holy shit, did it fail in spectacular fashion. This is one of the bigger moments that everybody hates on from this movie, and honestly, after watching the diarrhea CGI, you can't help but hate it. And I mean, fucking hate it. It reminds me of the CGI from the movie The Frighteners, the one with Michael J. Fox. See it if you haven't. But that movie was back in, I believe, 1996. 1996. That was 14 years earlier. How in the fuck do you have the same CGI graphics 14 years later? How in the fuck? And that was more of a tongue-in-cheek horror movie. You could get away with the cheesy CGI, which wasn't horrible in 96, but 2010, goddamn. So in this version of Nightmare, they tried to really give more of a backstory towards Freddy, and hey, I'm all for that. No complaints here. Kris starts going through all these photos and starts seeing all these old pictures of her. Then she doesn't really remember anything. It looks like her mom is hiding pictures from her, and it looks like she's trying to cover something up. And I kind of like this mystery of, hey, we don't really know what happened back in the day. We're gonna travel this journey and figure out what did. But then you kind of start thinking about the plot, and you're like, wait a minute, all of these kids don't remember anything. That's pretty fucking unrealistic. Then again, a dude is fucking killing kids in their dreams. So, I mean, I guess we gotta let the imagination stretch just a little bit. So Freddy really starts going after Kris hard, and she falls asleep in class. And then we get this really cool scene where she's sitting at her desk, and boom, the room bursts into ash, and he's at the chalkboard and everything, and the CGI, the graphics, the effects look great. Why the fuck did we just see a bullshit CGI condom wall fucking coming in at Nancy? How the fuck did we go from that to this? I don't know. Jesse comes over and ends up staying the night with Kris, and hey, I guess fear brings ex-lovers together. You know what I'm saying? No, they don't get it on like their original counterparts, Tina and Rod. No. Boring. Jigsaw learned to say some titties. So instead of Jesse doing it, we get Kris falling asleep and getting mounted by Freddy. And here they try to do another callback to the original, where they had Tina fucking flying over all the walls and shit. But see, that looked good. Kris is thrown around the room, and it is fucking hilarious. She looks like she's flying around doing this god-awful fucking circus act, it gave me a chuckle. And as I was watching this scene in particular, I started thinking to myself, why am I watching this instead of watching the original? And the worst part about this scene to me was how anticlimactic it was. She just kind of got cut open and fell onto the bed. After all that, I'm like, okay. Jesse takes off out of the house, alarm goes off, cops start showing up, blah, blah, blah. He looks like the suspect. And then I have a really big problem with what happened next. Jesse runs to Nancy's house and sneaks in, but there's no point ever in this movie that I saw where they actually really know each other well. So how the fuck would Jesse know where Nancy lived? And why was Nancy not as freaked out when Jesse showed up in her room bloody as fuck? I mean, look, this was her actual reaction to that.
What happened to you? Whose blood is that? Is it your blood?
So the cops end up arresting Jesse, and as he's in the prison gear walking down the hall, all cuffed up, all I can think of is, wow, he is really gonna make some prisoners happy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying there. But again, boring, boring, boring. Before any of the shower fun time stuff happens, Jesse gets killed in his cell. And man, what an uncreative way they went about it. In the dream, Freddy scares him, and then Freddy goes and hides, and then Jesse stands up and bam! Fucking Freddy clawed through the chest. I mean, it was fine, I guess. I just find it really hard to believe that was the coolest thing the writers could think of. Now, I am about to talk about something positive in this movie, so brace yourself. Quentin and Nancy meet up at a library, and they talk about the side effects of sleep deprivation. They add this little wrinkle into the movie where after 70 hours of being awake, your brain starts to kind of shut down and starts, having micro naps. Hey, I have no idea if this shit's true, but I like the addition to the story. At least this adds something new into the movie, and honestly, I think this little addition is one of the best things that the remake has to offer, as sad as that sounds. It adds more stakes and kind of creates these different levels where the characters know they can't ever really escape Freddy. He's always gonna get him somehow. I don't even really care what you think. I really dug this added into the movie. I haven't really talked about Nancy's mom that much yet, and motherfucker, I hate this bitch. In the original, Nancy's mom was a drunk that she grew frustrated with. In this movie, her mom's a dumbass and has no excuses. I think her mom is such a piece of shit. I don't think I'm nailing this point home enough. She sucks. She lies so much in this movie. In fact, I don't think she does anything but lie in this movie. She lies about Nancy knowing Quentin. She lies about Nancy knowing Freddy. She lies about Nancy having any connection with Kris. She lies about the motherfucking school. She lies about motherfucking lying.
Stop lying to me.
I'm not lying to you. I am not lying to you. I'm not lying to you.
Even with Nancy and Quentin showing the picture of all the kids to the mom, she can do nothing but lie with evidence right in fucking front of her. These kids are all fucking dying, and her mom is doing the worst fucking job trying to protect her daughter. So Nancy does some research. She finds out all the other kids at the school that they were at have all died, including one kid who died while he was filming a vlog, and literally he dies, the screen goes to static, and somehow it still gets posted on his website or blog, whatever. I mean, come on. In one last-ditch effort to make this movie even remotely interesting, Quentin goes into a dream sequence where he sees Freddy get killed and burned alive while he's screaming he didn't do it. He denied touching them kids. And that's the whole big plot of the movie. Kruger's a gardener at the preschool. He ends up touching all the kids. The parents find out and they go burn them down. That's the whole plot, and all of a sudden, late into the movie, we're like, wait a minute, are they pulling a swerve on us? Is Freddy really innocent? Quentin sure does think so.
You killed an innocent man.
Honestly, why not? Really wouldn't have changed the outcome of the movie. I mean, he still would want to kill the kids as revenge for the parents for killing an innocent man. So, I mean, at least, I can see how it would be creative and new. I'm not saying it sucks because they didn't do that. I'm just saying it probably would have been more interesting if they did. The end of this movie is near, thankfully. So we have Nancy and Quentin driving out to the preschool, and they start having these micro naps. And hey, I dug this stuff. I thought it was cool. Don't get me wrong, not enough to save the movie, but at least it was something, you know, fresh. They break into the school, and then they find Freddy's room, and then Quentin finds a little container with a bunch of photos of Freddy touching them kids. And one of the most puzzling things in cinema history, in my opinion, Quentin and Nancy kiss. Yo, what in the actual fuck? They just looked at pictures of Freddy touching them kids. Less than 2 minutes. It may have been like a minute after. And then they start kissing. And then they start kissing on Freddy's bed. I have to repeat myself. Yo, what in the actual fuck? So after getting turned on over Freddy's collection of photos, we have Nancy going to sleep, and Quentin's gonna watch over her, and that motherfucker falls asleep right before she does. They both fall asleep, same time. Quentin, oh, you suck, kid. I bit my tongue right there. Thanks, Quentin. We get this chase scene where Freddy's chasing Nancy in her house, and I'm about to throw out another compliment. It kind of reminded me of the original when Nancy was running up the stairs and the stairs started turning to goo. Here in the remake, Nancy is running down this hallway and it literally just turns into like blood and fucking goo, and she gets swallowed up by it. And hey, I thought it looked cool. It looked visually good. And it gave you this like sense of, you know, you can't get away. The motherfucker's right there, you know. You've had dreams like that. I thought this worked well. But then it is quickly ruined when, to me, it looks like they tried to do another callback to the original where Glenn gets sucked into the bed and the blood shoots all over the ceiling. Rest in peace, Johnny Depp. Well, here in the remake, they kind of do the opposite. They have the blood kind of coming through the ceiling, kind of like a little bleh, bleh. That's the sound I'm giving it right there. Bleh, bleh. She comes in, shitty fucking fake CGI blood. She falls down onto the bed. Hey, maybe it wasn't a callback, but with the blood, the bed, the ceiling, it looked like it to me. Either way, it came off shitty and looked shitty. So finally, Nancy pulls Freddy back into the real world, out of the dream, and Freddy quickly makes Quentin his bitch. Just a little FYI, by the way, Freddy's looks maybe 5'7", 120 pounds at most. They should be able to manhandle this motherfucker. Eventually, Nancy kinda does. She cuts off Kruger's arm and then fucking splits his fucking throat open and then just kind of falls back and on the ground. And that's kinda it. So wait, you're just gonna leave. You're not gonna cut his head off. You're not gonna cut his goddamn arms and legs off. You're just gonna leave him just with a little slit open throat, and then you're gonna burn him. Your plan is to burn the man who was burned to death. God damn, these people are stupid in these fucking movies. I would have took out my motherfucking machete and made sushi out of this bitch. And just to close out the movie, we have one final scene where Freddy kind of comes back in a mirror and fucking sticks his damn claw in the mom and kills her, pulls her into the mirror. And you know what? Bravo. Bra-fucking-vo. Thank you, Freddy. Thank you, pedo guy. Thank you. I don't even care. The bitch is dead. I'm doing this right now. In my reviews, I hand out awards, and the shitbird award for the character who fucks up the most, ruins the movie, easily going to Nancy's mom, Gwen. The easiest decision I've had to make, hands down, in my life. As for the cream of the crop award, which goes to the character or thing that, you know, is the opposite, it was good, it was the best part of that movie, and this was a little bit harder. I think I'm going with Quentin. Quentin wasn't a great character. He wasn't bad, though. He did think Freddy was innocent for a minute, and he is an emo bitch, so, I mean, he's got that going for him. The Kill of the Film award goes to, oh, goddamn. I mean, the kills were all pretty lackluster, but I'm gonna go with Dean in the diner, the first kill of the movie. It was at least the most brutal, where you saw the knife cut through slowly into his neck, so I'm gonna go with that one. I also give each movie on One and Only Horror Reviews a final overall rating. And boy, was this shit hard to lock down a rating for. I haven't really said it yet, but overall, I think on top of all the other shit I have said, I thought this movie was just it was kind of boring. All the kill scenes fell flat, and all the callbacks, every one that they tried to call back from the original, they were all worse. How have you not been able to improve on scenes that happened 26 years ago? Besides the micro nap edition that I talked about earlier, I don't think this really had anything new, fresh, innovative to like a reason to make this movie, basically. Some people out there are gonna say, you know what, if you don't compare it to the original, it wasn't that bad of a movie. First of all, fuck you. Second of all, if it isn't going to build and improve and give you something to watch from the original, don't fucking remake it. Like I said, this is 26 years later, and the graphics and the effects are worse somehow. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm gonna give this movie a brutally low score of 4.1 out of 10. Yes, I bring decimal points to the table, bitch. But I wanna hear how you rate this movie. Do you think I'm wrong? Because I don't think I am this time. But I will be more than happy to fight your ass in the comment section below. So let me know how you felt about this movie. And you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, fucking finger yourself while you watch. I don't care. Just watch the fucking thing and make sure you come back for the next episode of One and Only Horror Reviews. I love the horror movie genre, but sometimes shit sucks. We'll see ya on the next video. Outie. Yo, I just fucking said outie. That was fucking cringe. I'm gonna edit that shit out. Fuck that shit. I ain't fucking putting that in a goddamn video.